What's good, y'all? It's your boy Sean Peter Blunt Hey! And we're back with another One Piece chapter reaction. Today we will be reacting to One Piece chapter 1083, The Truth About That Day. Y'all know what time it is. Y'all know how I get when we do these chapter reactions. So let's get into it. But before we get into it, make sure you guys hit that like button. Also comment. Also make sure you subscribe as well. Hit that bell for notifications. Follow me on Twitch so you can catch me live and you can engage with me in real time. Also follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook if you want to get at me directly. And join the Discord. The Discord is going to be where you could join discussions. You can send me content to react to, but you must be a member of the Discord. And it's also going to be the best place to get at me. That's usually where I'm the most active when I get the chance, right? All of these will be in the description box down below. Y'all know it. Y'all know what day it is, though. Y'all know what day it is. It feel like it's been a month since I last reacted to a chapter. So I'm super excited. If y'all can't tell, I'm excited to react to this chapter. So let's get into it. One Piece chapter 1083, The Truth About That Day. Man, so yeah, last chapter was pretty lit, so I don't know what to expect from this chapter. I haven't really dealt with any spoilers, or like a lot of times I'm seeing something that gives me even a vague spoiler of what is in the chapter. Like last chapter, I knew Mihawk was going to be in the chapter. I seen people posting spoilers talking about. I mean, I didn't see the spoilers, but I've seen people posting stuff talking about Mihawk. This chapter, not so much. I think the only maybe clue I got is something earlier in the series foreshadowed this chapter. I don't know. I don't know. There's been some foreshadowing before, so I don't know. But let's get into this chapter. We got the cover page. So it says One Piece chapter 1083, The Truth About That Day. We see Doflamingo. It looked like he has a band-aid or something. He has a band-aid and there's like a little bird, a little baby bird, like Doflamingo sitting with his back to a tree. And the bird got like a knot on its head. And I guess Doflamingo is attending to this bird, like, helping this bird, like nursing this bird to good health. Because the bird is sitting on his, Doflamingo's cape, whatever you call that, is his coat. It says Doflamingo tending to a falling chick and making a nest with his coat. It could be because Doflamingo got that flamingo theme to him, so maybe he just has a soft side to birds or something. I don't know, but this don't seem much like Doflamingo, right? Doflamingo don't seem like he is gonna be nursing some bird back to health. Maybe it's because it's a bird, right? And flamingos are birds as well, so it's kind of like he just has a soft spot for birds. I don't know. What y'all think? Let me know what y'all think. Why Doflamingo has this soft side, And that was a cover request by Mikuro. All right, so we are at Kamebaka Queendom, and someone says we accomplished everything we set out to do. We see Morley, look like some girl with bunny ears. Don't tell me they got what's her name? Carrot there. Let's see like this girl with bunny ears and a cape. Another woman, and then I think that's Karasu. It's hard to make out everybody. Like to me, the easiest people to make out is gonna be Morley and Karasu. Alright, so we see the Celestial Dragon logo, the one that they brand on people's backs like Boa. So I guess this is Sabo talking about what happened at Mary Joa. And he says, Also, this is Sabo talking, I'm assuming. He says all three objectives were taken care of. We officially declared war by destroying the celestial dragon symbol, and then we see that symbol, so I'm assuming that's the symbol he's talking about, or that's what he destroyed. And he says we rescued Kumasan and freed as many slaves as possible. And then we see him, Dragon, and Ivankov sitting at this table. And he says, finally, we managed to find and destroy the Holy Land's food reserve. So, what was the fallout? It was nothing to sneeze at, but we got the world's attention. And the Navy ended up sending in the big guns. Okay. So, they destroyed the Holy Land's food reserves, But what does that even mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, you destroyed the food that's there, but they're like celestial dragons. I would think that they would just go. I think that would do more damage because then they would just go extort people. They would go take the food of normal everyday citizens and be like, hey, we you can thank the revolutionaries because they destroyed our food, so we're taking your food. You know what I'm saying? Because, hey, they're celestial dragons, bro. They literally just take people at will and be like, you know what? You're going to serve me. You know what I'm saying? So, seeing how they work, you know what I mean? I don't see that working out well for the citizens of the people. Dragon says, meanwhile, we triggered uprisings in 12 nations where we held strong influence, 8 of which were successful. And then Ivanko says, well, you say 8 were successful, but one of them vanished, the kingdom of Lelugia. Yeah, I mean, we know Sabo already know that. Sabo was about to get wiped off the face of the earth with Lelugia. Like, we didn't know what happened to Sabo for a minute. You know what I'm saying? But it makes sense that Sabo wasn't on that island though, because I didn't know if there was any other possibility of him surviving that, unless he could like turn into flame. You know what I mean? He turns into flame, and then the beam kind of just goes through the flame, but then he just has to sustain being a flame for a period of time, and maybe he could float over somewhere safe, but I don't know. I don't know if that would have worked out well. Then Dragon says the headline censored everything but the 7 other have all declared their intent. The headline censored everything but the 7 others have all declared their intent to no longer pay the celestial tribute or comply with the exploitive exporting of their resources. Bro, I hope we get an explanation of why Lelugia was chosen. Why the world government chose Lelugia? Because it wasn't Kasabo. Because it was like they already had planned to destroy Lelugia Island, but Sabo just managed to be there as well. So it was like, it was just to them it was like luck that they could kill 2 birds with 1 stone, even though they was aiming for one. You know what I mean? It's like trying to shoot a bird in the head and then another bird just flies right past as the bullet. You know what I'm saying? And you get both of them. You know what I mean? But Ivanko says, on top of that, the Revolutionary Army is attacking government supply carriers all over the world to stop resources from reaching Marijoa. Oh, okay. So, like I said, they destroyed the supply chain, or they destroyed the reserves. Now they're preventing supplies from even getting to Marijoa. Bro, this is smart. This is like in wars, like back then in wars, like they would, like with the army, the invading army, instead of trying to like break into the fort or the castle or whatever, like the walled area of the city or whatever, they would, of course they were surrounded, and then they would like cut off any supplies from being able to even enter the city. So then I forget what you call it. It's a term for that. It's a term for that. But or like they would like it's like a blockade. You create a blockade from supplies from getting in. They do that on ships as well. Like a ship would surround the island. Like you have like ships surround an island during like a. It doesn't even have to be a war. It could just be like two opposing countries. One country blocks the other country from getting any resources until the other country surrenders. But then he says, then Ivankov continues, they say the Holy Land's high up location makes it an impenetrable fortress. Yeah. I mean, that's the best way you combat a impenetrable fortress. You prevent any supplies from going in. Sabo already destroyed the supplies that was in there. Now they preventing. See, now we getting a little more. We getting a little more about this war. We actually seeing some war tactics happening. I like this because this is the type of stuff that happens in real life, right? This is the type of stuff happens during like history, and like in like a lot of history, like historical events. Ivankov's face darkens up and he says, but we'll see how they like living under siege. They'll finally get a taste of what it is to live in poverty and go hungry. And he says, hee haw. Ivankov going crazy. He said, that's what I call a result. And the dragon says, indeed, we may not be able to cut off all their supplies, but we're squeezing them slowly but surely. They must be struggling by now. Bro, the revs is it's wartime. It's wartime for real. It's wartime for real. And Dragon continues as expected though. They're not a foe who will just take all this line down. Our real battle will start when they mobilize God's knights. God's knights. God's knights. So we introducing a new, I guess, subgroup of the world government that even dragons talking about like, yeah, we gonna have to be careful because when they bring them guys out, and I don't even know if the revs know about the Seraphim either, right? The Seraphim is going what cause them. And so early when I talk about like seeing spoilers, I did see this silhouette. Like there's a silhouette in the middle. People was talking about that was Haragumo, the mountain bandit from like the first arc in One Piece. Or that Romance Dawn chapter where he took Luffy as a kid and Shanks had to go save him. But the God's Knights, okay. Ivankov says, you realize you will be their number one target, right, Sabo? Or should I start calling you Flame Emperor Boy? And then Sabo says, I'm not too hot on that name. And Dragon says, it doesn't matter what the truth behind King Cobra's assassination is. The news reports have made you a hero already. Oh, yeah. Wasn't Dragon was supposed to be mad at Sabo if he did that assassination on Cobra. He was talking all that like, if Sabo really did do that, we gotta have a talk. Like he took that personal, you know. And Sabo never brought up what happened with the assassination, you know. Dragon continues, in the eyes of revolutionaries everywhere, authority figures within the world government are hated for being subhuman monsters. While there are certainly many malignant, power hungry depots who deserve that reputation, there are also a number of intelligent and fair rulers too. In Alabasta, King Cobra was in a class of his own. Everyone considered him to be an outstanding sovereign. Unfortunately, misinformation spreads faster than nuances like that. And then Sabo says, this might be cold to say, but while I feel bad for what happened to King Cobra, but are we going to get? Are they going? Are we going? Are we going to finally find the truth of what happened to King Cobra? Because Dragon was talking all that like he was going to have a problem with Sabo himself if Sabo did this. But it makes sense though. Sabo just don't want to, or Dragon don't want to like piss off people. I think that's pretty much what it is. Sabo continues. I think I could live with the way this all played out. If it helps fuel the flames of rebellion, and then he drinks his juice or tea or whatever, and Dragon says, I think it's Dragon. He says, Mayu really are unshakable. And Ivankov says, then spit it out already. This don't look too good. This do not look too good for Sabo. We got Sabo standing over King Cobra's dead body. I say that because I'm assuming he's dead, but I guess he's dead. You know what I'm saying? Is he dead? Ivankov says, "What really happened? Is there any truth behind this scoop?" Yeah, that don't look good, bro. Like if I seen that in the newspaper, I would think Sabo killed him as well. I mean, the man's standing like right above his dead body. Come on now. It don't look too good for Sabo, bro. I think Sabo did it. I think Sabo did it. Come on now. Ivoko says, we all shed tears over this, desperately trying to find an explanation. Because we all wanted to believe in you. And Dragon, I still think Dragon don't believe it, though. I don't know if Dragon believes it. I think Dragon's like, yeah, Sabo, I think you might have done it too. And Sabo's looking at the newspaper like, damn, it does look bad. Even Sabo believes it now. Like Sabo, like, did I really kill Cobra? Maybe I did. Maybe I don't. He having like that Sanji moment when Sanji didn't know if he hit that girl. He like, did I kill King Cobra? Bro. I mean, bro, dude got a picture above King Cobra's dead body. I mean, come on now. That is some damning evidence. We get look like a castle. It look like a walled city's on siege. I don't know if this is okay. It says over a month ago at the home of the gods in the holy land of Marijoa. Not long after Reverie began, and so we see like buildings and stuff on fire, like smoke coming from this fire. Someone says they're attacking the home of the gods. We see a bunch of celestial dragons running like little bitches. The little bitches they are. Come on now. Excuse the language, but they celestial dragons. Come on now. They're not good people, right? They this type of stuff that put a smile in my heart. My heart don't even have a mouth, and my heart's smiling right now. It ain't I ain't smiling up front, but my heart's smiling to see something like this. Someone says, "Get out here and help us, you lousy bureaucrats. They blew up the storehouse." And someone says, "The intruders are with the Revolutionary Army." And people are screaming, "We're under attack." And it says, "It's 4 captains." So it's like someone on the intercom or over the phone saying this. Hey, I ain't gonna lie. It's nice to see these. Uh, it's nice to see these celestial dragons being terrified and you know what I mean, and being bullied for once. It's it's almost as satisfying as when Luffy punched the one. You know, back in Sabaody when he punched, what was it named, Charlos or something, when he like punched him in the face, and in the anime they done switched to the manga. He punched him so hard. Great moment. Great moment. This is almost up there. Just almost as satisfying. Almost as satisfying. They say, "This is outrageous. First they attacked our beloved symbol, and now the plebes have taken away our exquisite food. Does the jealousy of these vermin know no bounds? I don't even want to keep the heads. Just dispose of them at once." And then we see some lady with these big ass gums and teeth. "After that, summon all those dreadful bodyguards and have them executed. Those miserable wretches allowed this to happen on their watch." Oh, so they're going to summon the bodyguards for felon and killing them. They're going to execute their bodyguards. She said, "After that, summon all those dreadful bodyguards and have them executed. Those miserable wretches allowed this to happen on who? But if you killing everybody, who's going to execute them? I mean, who's going to arrest the bodyguards? I guess. Like if I don't know. Unless you got police, whatever. I don't know. I don't know. I would think the bodyguards or everybody there that is supposed to protect them, they would want them executed. So that means who's going to enforce that? Who's going to enforce that? It's like saying, "Hey, we're going to execute all the police." Who's going to enforce that though? We're going to execute the police and the military. Who's going to enforce that? I guess the Marines is going to have to enforce it. I guess. So we see one of the celestial dragons riding on like a old pirate. How we see him do in Sabaody. He says, "You depraved snail, I told you to hurry." Bro, he's not a horse. Like you guys, these dudes are idiots, bro. Like I get doing that out of this need to your, but they can't go beyond their capabilities as humans, bro. Like, like, bro, if I was like, so, I mean, I wouldn't be that type of person, but I would at least be smart enough to realize that ain't no human gonna be able to move that fast to get me out of danger. Freaking idiots, bro. These dudes are idiots. He says, "What would you do if something were to happen to me?" I'd be happy, honestly. And then he says, "I've had enough. I'll walk myself." Oh, duh. Freaking idiot. Goofball looking dude. Yo, where Luffy at to punch a celestial dragon when you need him, bro? Where is Luffy at to give him a good old falcon punch when you need? So the celestial dragon got the gun to the pirate's face. He says, "Consider yourself fired, you useless piece of trash." Man, bro. And then we see a bird fly right past the dude, and I guess he saves the pirate's knife. I'm assuming this is Karasu, or he swoops and takes the gun, and the celestial dragon says, "My gun." He says, "Who do you think you are?" Okay, yeah, that was Karasu. So Karasu is like breaking. bro, I really want to know how Karasu's ability work, bro. Like he can. I'm assuming he could turn into like a crow or a raven, and he can also break his body into like separate ravens. Is this like a? But is this like a zone, or more like a Prometheus? I would think it probably is closer related to a zone. And then okay, and then we see a crow break off to him, and then it says mutter, and he says crowing suit. The crow says escape to this the crow that Karasu sent to the dude says escape the east of the city, and he says word. He said what? Okay. You know something. You know what Karasu reminds me of? Uh, and he's kind of similar in many ways, right? He's kind. If you guys ever watch Yu Yu Hakusho and you've seen the Dark Tournament and you remember Team Tagoro, there was a member named Karasu. I think that was his name. His name was Karasu as well, and I think he wore a mask. He didn't wear a crow mask though. He wore like a I forgot what kind of mask he wore, but he wore a mask, and he was the one he could like create like bombs and stuff. Like he could he create like invisible bombs. He fought Karama at the end, and then there was another guy named Boo or Bui or something. He was the one who fought Hihei, and yeah. And Karasu, they're both named Karasu, and they both wear masks. That's kind of why their connection. But I want to say he kind of wore like a lot of dark colors as well, kind of like Karasu on this one. So one of the world government agents says it's the Revolutionary Army, and they're shooting at Karasu, and we see all these hoes riddling Karasu's body, but we see how Karasu's body works. He could break it into like little crows. So it's weird how his ability works. It's not like your typical zone. And that's why I question, is it even a zone, right? Is it even a zone? And so they're shooting at him. They say, get Saint Plumbing to safety. Let's riddle this scum with bullets. Blast him till there's nothing left. And so I'm kind of liking this Karasu guy. So they like shooting all these bullets. And they said, huh? There really is nothing left. Don't tell me he's. And we see like this black fog or something going past their ankles. And then we see Karasu right behind them. Bro, his ability is like. It's not like a normal zone, bro. It can't be. It can't be a normal zone. Cause it almost has like a little intangible factor, kind of like Logias. You know how Logias kind of dissipate their bodies and stuff. Like he dissipates it by turning into crows, but right here he didn't turn his body into crows. It's kind of like little smoke or something, bruh. I'm liking Karasu the more I see this guy, and I want to know more about his devil fruit, bruh. Like he's becoming one of my favorite revolutionary members, honestly. Like like I like his ability. I like his design. I like the name Karasu. You know, bruh. Yo, I want more Karasu, bro. I want more Karasu. Karasu, we see him attack all these guys with a billy suit. A billy suit. I think that's how he says. So most of his attacks seem like they're named like suit. Is suit like a word? Is it like a word related with crows or something? And then we get introduction says Northern Captain of the Revolutionary Army, Karasu, ate the suit fruit. So we got a name for his devil fruit, the suit fruit. It just doesn't say if it's a zone or a Promisi or I mean, I don't think it's not. I doubt it's a Logia because it's not like an element, you know. Then we see Limburg. I think he's like using his little contraption in the air. And it says Southern Captain of the Revolutionary Army, Limburg. Okay, so it doesn't seem as if Limburg has a devil fruit ability. And he says they're really going at it over there. And then we see a crow fly right past Limburg. And he says, they're headed this way. Hurry up and release everyone. And Limburg says, leave it to me. And then we see Karasu flying. He says, Crow. Oh, then we see Fujitaro. We see Fujitaro. We see. Oh boy. This is when shit gets real, bro. This is when shit gets real. When we get an admiral show up, such as Fujitaro, shit just got real. Oh, I think I skipped this part. So, I think I skipped this part. So, Limburg he shoots the chains of a bunch of these slaves. Says laser shooter. He says, "Hurry up! Gather at the east side of the city. We're going to get you out of here." And they say, "Thank you so much. Thank you so much." And he says, "You can thank us when you're free." Facts. So then that's when we get Limburg, and he's looking at all the explosions going on, and then Karasu flies past him, and then we see Fujitaro. It Karasu versus Fujitaro. Come on now, this if Karasu flexes on Fujitaro, we might have to question how strong these revolutionary commanders are. You know what I'm saying? We might have to question how strong these revolutionary army commanders are based on how Karasu does against Fujitaro. Because we see all these crows flying at Fujitaro, and he says, Rinken. And then they're all flying towards Fujitaro, attacking him. All right, so we see Morley fighting against Green Bull. I think Morley's ability might actually work well against Green Bull. I think it might actually work well against Green Bull. You know what I'm saying? And Morley says, "Oh my boy, sure likes to play rough." And then Green Bull says, "You're the ones destroying the city." Oh, see, Green Bull had no problem wrecking Wano, but now it's like, "Oh, you're destroying it." Shut up, Green Bull. Shut up. He says, "Just cough up where your leader went off to." And he says, Morley says, "You should have sniffed around and stalked people, you dirty little perv." Or no, I think is that Green Bull talking? Nah, I think that's Morley talking. And they Morley's like stabbing Green Bull with his trident, and we get the Western Captain of Revolutionary Army Morley. I'm surprised we didn't get a devil fruit for him though. Like we didn't get the name of his devil fruit with his name. And then we got Fujitaro. He says, they said, Fujitaro, what do you think you're doing? He says, I'm calling in a meteor strike. Bro, Fujitaro is reckless with them goddamn meteor strikes. He is reckless with they say, don't be an idiot. That's a terrible idea. They said, there are 2 admirals here. If we were anywhere but the home of the gods, that'd be more than enough power to turn any battlefield upside down. Oh, okay. We got CP9. Well, I mean, they're probably CP0 at this point. Are they still CP? Like, did they get promoted to CP0 or they like get a different position or something? I don't know. We got the wolf guy, I forget his name. And we got Bluno. What's old girl name? What's old girl's name? I forget her name. And then Mr. Chapapa himself. And then Commodore. Bluno says, even if you ignore the handicap, the revolutionary captains are doing well to stand their ground. And then he said, Chapapa. And then Commodore says, just goes to show there are no pushovers. Yo! I like Commodore, bro. I like Commodore and the one like, Chapapa. Khalifa's the old girl named Khalifa. And the wolf guy's name is like something with a J. I just forget it. It's like something with a J. I'm just Jafar. I don't remember. And we see some celestial dragon getting thrown around. Says you're as bad as him. Watch where you're swinging. Oh, this is from Green Bull's attack. This is from Green Bull's attack, like throwing around these celestial dragons. And the celestial dragon says, Ryukugo, you bastard, I'll see to it that you hang if any of us get hurt. And then Green Bull says, damn, it's impossible to fight here. Get out of the way already. So, this makes sense why the admirals couldn't really flex. This makes sense. Because back then people were like trying to shit on the admirals. They're like, yeah, they lost to I think they thought they fought Sabo or whatever. They were like, yeah, the revolutionaries was able to get away from two admirals. So they was using that as an indictment against the admirals, but we see like, bro, like they can't even really go all out against these commanders. So if anything, I get it. Like the commanders are being, the admirals are being severely nerfed. They're being severely nerfed right now. Like they can't even flex, man, because they don't want to hurt the celestial dragons. Karasu say, Sabo, don't you have the keys to these collars yet? He said, I just found out where they keep them. It won't be long. And then we see Sabo sprinting through the hallways. Huff, huff. He says, Limburg. And Limburg says, what's up? He says, Kuma-san's in Pangea Castle too. And Limburg says, what? We got Chief of Staff of the Revolutionary Army, Sabo. And then Sabo says, I just spotted him with that dumb father and son saints duo, Roseword and Charlos. Yeah, Charlos was the one that took that punch. Charlos was the one that took that punch, boy. He said they must still be looking to get revenge for that thing we heard about at the public courtyard. And Limburg says, what the hells? Charlo says, Mufufu. I'll make her my pet. And then Sabo says he wasn't giving up on getting Shirahoshi. Okay. Yo, see, I'm really loving this chapter, bro. I'm really loving this chapter because we getting so much reverie stuff. So much reverie stuff. This is I'm loving this chapter, bro. It's so this chapter is just packed with so much, bro. Now we see Shirahoshi. And they says, I won't forgive them. So I think this is Sabo. He says, I won't forgive them for using Kuma-san like this. And and I don't know if this is Sabo or Lindbergh talking. He says, "Yeah, we won't let them get away with it. Morally, make sure everything's ready." So okay, I think that was Lindbergh who said, "I won't forgive them for using Kumasan like this." It was either Lindbergh or Morley, and then Sabo says, "Yeah, we won't let them get away with it. Morally, make sure everything's ready." And he says, "Okie dokie." So yeah, that was Morley. And we see Shirahoshi. I don't know who she's talking to. I don't know who she's talking to. But then we see Jory Bonnie running. She says, "Huff, Huff, father." This chapter, bro. This chapter, so far 10 out of 10. So far 10 out of 10, bro. So I'll say 9 out of 10 just to give it room to get to that 10, but I'm waiting on that how it's going to end. I'm waiting on that end. I know that end is going to be like a punch to the face, boy. But bro, this is a fire. This is a phenomenal chapter, bro. This is a great chapter to come back on. I tell you that. Okay, so I think we see Vivi and Rob Lucci talking to each other. I think that's Princess Vivi. And Vivi says, "Can't you buzz off? I'd rather have Vice Admiral Garp's help." And then Lucci says, "Don't worry, we'll protect you." And then Vivi says, "Like you protected Shirahoshi." Oh wait, you didn't. And then he says, "And that creep's definitely going to target her again." Yeah, I wouldn't want to be protected by Rob Lucci. Come on now. Oh boy. Oh boy. I think we're getting closer to that whole what happened with Cobra. I think we're getting closer to that. We see Cobra outside of the I guess this is where the Gorosei is, the chambers for the Gorosei. And it says, "I'm afraid only King Cobra has been permitted an audience with the five elders." And someone says, "But," it says, "Cough, cough, Chaka, Pell. This won't take long, and it would be tedious for you to wait outside. It'd be better. It'd be a better. It'd be a much better use of your time to look out for Vivi. She's always been a mischievous one. You can't let her out of your sight for a second." And then it says, "What's the purpose of this meeting?" One Piece, chapter 1083. And, bruh, I mean, we didn't get that knockout punch of an ending, but 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. Questions are starting to get answered. We're getting some reverie action. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. I, I my opinion, 10 out of 10. You know what I'm saying? We're getting some reverie stuff. Now I know the good stuff is probably going. I'll leave room 9 or 10 out of 10. I'm gonna have to when I read the official again. I'm gonna get my official. I'm gonna get my official. Right now, I'm just off hype. Don't get me wrong. I'm going off hype. It's a great freaking chapter though. It's a great freaking chapter, and I'm hyped. I got to see some celestial dragons being terrorized. That I think that alone might just make it a 10. The fact that we seeing the Revolutionary Army terrorize the celestial dragons, bro. That's to me that's satisfying. That's satisfying to see the celestial dragons get terrorized. So all right. So let's get back to this. Let's recap this chapter. So we're on Kamibaka Queendom Island. Sabo is talking to Dragon Ivankov. You know, pretty much ex- explaining what went down. You know, he talked about like the three things they managed to accomplish while at Marijoa. One of them first being the fact that they was able to destroy or no, the fact that they destroyed the world, the celestial dragon symbol, right? That dragon print, you know. The other one being they rescue Kuma, they rescue Kuma-san, and the other one being that they managed to destroy the Holy Land's food reserves. So that's three things they managed to accomplish. The three things that they went in managed to accomplish. They also helped free some slaves as well, which is another thing, right? And they talked about how after destroying the food reserves, they're pretty much stopping supplies from getting to Marijoa by like destroying any ships that's going to Marijoa or whatever, possibly like raiding them and taking their supplies. That'd be smart. I wouldn't let all that stuff go to waste. You take the supplies, then destroy the ships, and then maybe you could redistribute the supplies somewhere else, right? They also talked about how they managed to get 12 nations to revolt against the world government, but only had like 7 successful revolts, right? I don't know what happened to the other 5. I guess they've been quelled down by the world government, but the revolutionaries are doing well. They're doing pretty well, right? So which they're doing some good war tactics, right? They're doing stuff that you can see in history. Some great events in history where they, stop supplies from going to wherever they're having, like whoever they're having a war with by doing like a blockade. Eventually, your opponent gets hungry, and maybe they are willing to give up. You don't even have to call a war. You don't have to even fight and risk getting your people killed. You know what I'm saying? But you starve them out, right? You starve your enemy out. And then we start talking about the whole Cobra assassination, right? Dragon is bringing up like the fact that like, look, man, this just doesn't look good. I know that a lot of these kings, a lot of taking out a lot of these kings, it's cool because a lot of people hate some of these kings, right? But there are some kings out there that people actually like, people actually love. Cobra is definitely one of them. So it's just not a good look for the revolutionaries to kill Cobra, right? So we even get the page in the newspaper of Sabo standing over King Cobra's dead body, and it just doesn't look good for Sabo. I'm not gonna lie, it doesn't look good for Sabo. So, I'm assuming next chapter we find out what really happened to King Cobra. You know what I'm saying? And we'll get Sabo finally talking about seeing Eam, like officially stating that, because most people we're speculating that he's seen Eam, but Sabo finally spills the beans. Dragon also mentions these God's Knights. He says, as expected though, they're not a foe who would just take all this line down. Our real battle will start when they immobilize God's Knights. So we didn't really get too much depth on God's Knights. We got some silhouettes, but based on how Dragon's hyping them up, these guys might be tough. You know what I'm saying? They was never mentioned in the story before, but they seem like they gonna give the revolutionaries a tough time. So they seem like they're gonna be pretty tough, right? I don't know why the world government didn't dispatch them when the Revs were at Marijoa. Like, are they like not on hand? Are they not at Marijoa? Or are they like somewhere else? Like, where are these guys' knights at? I would think knights would be at the castle. Maybe they weren't at the castle at that time though. I don't know. I don't know. But hopefully we get some more about the guys' nights. And I'm really intrigued to see when when they get revealed. You know. So then we get to the flashback. The flashback of everything that happened at Reverie. I'm gonna kind of breeze through some of this because a lot of stuff happened. A lot of stuff happened. We see explosions happening, fires happening. I guess this is the Revs destroying the food reserves and just causing all types of chaos. Celestial dragons running in fear, which is probably the highlight of this chapter, seeing them get terrorized like this and be induced with the same fear that they induce in others, right? And one of the guys was riding on a slave, and the slave wasn't moving to his liking, so he was like, you know what, I'm gonna execute you, you're fired. But we see Karasu show up and save the guy. And out of all the commanders, out of all the revolutionary commanders, as far as like not Sabo, but just the other commanders, right? I'm really liking Karasu the most. I like Morley too. I like Morley as well, but I'm liking Karasu as well. I like Karasu the most. I'm really intrigued by how his devil fruit works because it's like a zone, but it kind of works similar to Logia's to a degree. So I'm curious if it's really even a zone or if it's like a Prometheus, like a special type of Prometheus that's has like zone and Logia characteristics. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we see Karasu. Karasu is also talking to Limburg, and he Limburg who's freeing the slaves. But Fujitaro shows up to fight Karasu, and Fujitaro calls a meteor, and they're like, "Bro, what are you doing? Like, you can't be causing a meteor. That's just gonna make things worse." And I think this is Green Bull who kind of mentions that, while at the same time using his devil fruit ability to cause a bunch of chaos that's like causing a hard time for the celestial dragons, and they're like pissed off at Green Bull, like, "Bro, if we get hurt, we gonna have your head, Green Bull or Raigulku, whatever." So pretty much the admirals are having a tough time because they can't fully use their abilities with the celestial dragons around, which is working to the commanders' advantage. So I don't. So it's really looking like the commanders are holding their own against the admirals, and they are. But I think it's more of the admirals can't really like go all out, so they're being restricted and nerfed. So I don't know if I want to be quick to put the revolutionary commanders on the admirals level, because I think it's more the fact that the admirals can't go all out while the commanders don't care. The revolutionary commanders don't care because this, they're trying to cause chaos, while the admirals are trying to not cause chaos, protect the celestial dragons, and fend off the commanders. So they're super restricted at this point. They're super restricted. So I don't know if I want to say these revolutionary, even though it looks like they're like on par with the admirals. I don't think that's the case. I think it's more of the lack of what the admirals can do that's giving these commanders the advantage. And so we cut the Sabo going through the castle. He finds Kuma, who is in the possession of Charlos and his father. What's his father's name? Roseward, right? And they're still trying to catch Shirahoshi. That's all they care about, catching Shirahoshi. And despite everything that's going on at Marijoa, they're focused on Shirahoshi. And Sabo relays all this information to Limburg and what's the name? Morley. We also catch that Jory Bonnie is there, but we didn't really get much with Jory Bonnie. We also see Shirahoshi as well, and Vivi is being protected by Rob Lucci, but she doesn't want to be protected by Rob Lucci because she's like, hey, you want to protect me like you did Shirahoshi, but Rob Lucci don't care. Rob Lucci don't care about nothing that Vivi has to say. But like I said, I'm curious if Rob Lucci going to end up switching away from the world government. I'm kind of curious, right? Especially everything that's going on in Egghead Island at the moment. But we end this chapter with King Cobra outside of the chambers of the Gorosei about, being prepared to meet them. But Pell and Shaka can't go in the chambers with them. And, he pretty much, King Cobra dismisses them and said, hey, go protect Vivi. Go watch over Vivi. I'm going to go in here. So I'm assuming next chapter we're going to get some more of the results of everything that's going on, and we're going to get King Cobra's death, possibly. We're going to see Sabo witness all this and witness Eam, because Eam might actually meet King Cobra as well, right? Possibly a real reveal of Eam next chapter. I'm hoping we get an official reveal of Eam and get to see what Eam actually looks like. But I'm confident that next chapter we'll probably get Cobra. At the very least, we'll get Cobra dying. Unless Oda decides to switch back to Egghead Island or somewhere else. I think next, if we're gonna stay in this little mini arc of the Revs, we'll probably get King Cobra dying. And some of the other, maybe the Holy Knight show up and Revs have to leave. You know what I mean? I don't know. Or God's Knight show up. I don't know. But man, that chapter was packed full with a lot of stuff. I really loved that chapter part. I think what really made me love that chapter the most was just seeing the celestial dragons get terrorized. They are horrible individuals, and I think they deserve everything they are getting at the moment, including death. I hope some of them get wiped out as well. You know what I mean? But, that is pretty much the chapter right there. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Also subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. Comment down below your thoughts on the chapter, your thoughts on the reaction. Give me a rating. What you think of the chapter? You know what I'm saying? Let me know in the comments. Also, make sure you follow me on Twitch so you can engage with me live. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook if you want to get at me directly. Or even better, join the Discord. That's usually where I'm the most active. And you can also participate in discussions. And you can send me content to react to. All of these will be in the description box down below. But yeah, y'all, it was a great chapter. I'm psyched. Don't seem like we have a break next week, so I'm good. Anyway, it's your boy Sean P. the Bluff Guy. Now I'm out of here. Peace.